Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Live from the Chair where inclusion matters. Unfortunately, I received word this afternoon that Killian Krowe had a personal matter that he had to deal with and will not be on the show tonight. However, Mr. Killian Krowe, I have to admit that my host and my co-host do not believe a word that I said, and they're calling you a chicken. They're calling you a coward. They're calling you a loser, and they're calling you somebody that is going to cry that you lost to a woman in the Red Rock Rumble. So, Mr. Killian, I offer you the opportunity to come back on this podcast anytime you want and rebut everything that my host and my co-host have said about you. Me, on the other hand, I hope everything is okay. I hope your family's safe. I hope that you're okay. And I hope to see you soon. Moving forward, now, on to the show. Welcome, boys.
Well, now that you've almost gotten us killed, thank you very much. And
You're
welcome to
welcome.
Pandemonium, who's in the chat right now. So, let's talk about NXT yesterday. And I'm pretty sure there was a guy on NXT yesterday that probably could have used Britt Baker's assistance.
Well, before you go on, I must admit, he was in a minor fender bender with his kids coming home from tutoring. Not daycare, Mr. Noss. I don't know where you got that from, but I said tutoring. Again, that was you tuning me out. But as I said before, it was him coming home from tutoring. So I do know that he and his children were okay. So I'm glad that that happened. He just told me that it was a minor fender bender and there was some damage to the car. So he had to have the police said, and he wasn't going to make it home in time for the podcast. So, and yes, he is, Panda is correct. He is a big softy, but he was going to all come on in the heel. So I thought I'd just cut a little promo on my host and co-host and see how far it goes to see if I can get him killed. But
full disclosure, I almost died twice. Nobody could really kill me.
yeah, I know he was quite apologetic for not being able to appear tonight, but I did offer him the next 2 weekends if he's available, and I'm waiting to hear back because he said he wanted to reschedule as soon as possible. So hopefully I can get him on the show here in the next couple of weekends. I wanted him to come on before Batter Up because I know. But I did find out something interesting tonight. Unlike our guest that's in the chat, he lost twice at the Red Rock Rumble. That's right. He didn't just lose to Miss Pandemonium. He lost to the final boss, Bruce Wayne. So does that really make him a two-time loser?
Well, I mean, we were going to call Panda 2 belts when she wins the CSW championship from Tyra. So, yeah, I think we could call Killian the 2-time loser.
But again, that is just the host's opinion, Mr. Killian, not mine.
It's okay, Killian. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All I've seen you do in the ring is punch somebody like you're a boxer down on the other side of
the... Good evening, Kay.
Hello, Kay. How are you? But yes, what are you gonna do? Punch me? I've been hit by people harder than you, so I ain't gonna be more. That ain't gonna hurt me. So let's get back to what I was saying about NXT. Um, During a match with Briggs and Jensen, uh, Hank Walker's partner, Chuck, I'm going to butcher this guy's name because he's brand new and I haven't memorized it yet. Uh, Tuck Ledger, and I apologize if that's wrong, took a knee to the face and lost the tooth
Yeah, I saw that.
during the match. Now, here's the funny thing about that. He picked up the tooth and put it in his singlet
Yep.
to hold it, but till he got to the back. I mean, I don't know if
He
he thought
did.
they could. I don't know if they thought they can put it back in, or what? Because a lot of times I think don't they just leave them on the, you know, uh, in the ring somewhere, or like because I don't think they're gonna be able to put it back in.
No, they'll probably have to put like a cap or something in place of it, like a crown or something.
Well, it depends on where exactly the tooth is. If it's
Yeah.
so, let's talk about the the feud that they're doing with Schism and the Creeds and Ivy Nile. There's two reasons why I'm a little bit excited about um, that feud. One, because I think Schism and the Creeds could have a great series of matches. In fact, one of the things I would do is maybe do a best of seven, like tag team thing, like Booker T did with Chris Benoit. Um, Also, I'm excited to see if they finally let Ava Rain have a singles wrestling match with
Yep.
Ivy Nile.
That's what I like to see too.
Um, and I thought the match between Schism and Gallus last night was actually a lot better uh, than I anticipated. Not that I didn't think they could put on a good match because they're all talented competitors, but sometimes it's hard to put on like a good television match when there's not a lot of build to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
I mean, at least for Gallus's next challengers, uh, the D'Angelo family showed up at their bar.
Yeah, I want to see that because I really think the D'Angelo family will take it.
Mm, the only thing is, I think they have to add one more person to neutralize Joe Coffey.
Who said they haven't found that person already?
Okay, so let's play that out. Who would that person be?
Well, it would have to be someone that fits perfect with D'Angelo and his partner.
Yeah.
Someone that's probably getting ready to come into the NXT from the Performance Center.
Possible.
But who that might be, I don't know.
I don't know. Really, I mean, if the person's talented, you could pretty much, you know, set anybody really up um with that type of character. You just have to make sure that their wrestling styles match up well together.
Yep.
Um, I'm a little confused about uh about Wesley though with the North American Championship
I know. I
because
I'm
one,
interested in what they're gonna do.
who's he gonna face? Is he gonna face Charlie Dempsey again, or is he gonna face Drew Gulak again, or is it gonna be, as Panda says she liked, another Fatal Four Way where it's Wesley, uh, Tyler Bates, Drew Gulak, and Charlie Dempsey.
I kind of want. I think that might be the better solution because honestly, look at what Wesley did in that uh 6-way or 5-way, whichever one he did at Ascend and Deliver.
Yeah, it was a 5-way.
I think Wesley is better in those situations than he is by himself.
I honestly think that, relatively soon, once he loses the the North American Championship, whatever that happens, that you'll see Wesley start doing like dark matches on like main event or whatever to kind of gauge how he would do, crowd wise on the main roster, and then maybe do like a midway call up or something and find some
Yeah.
way to play that off. Um, so I know Tony's watching um AEW because he has satellite.
Yes, but we're not going to talk about spoilers on this show.
Right, I wasn't gonna talk about spoilers. I was gonna talk about the card again.
Oh, yes.
Uh, ooh, I like that idea from Panda. She said, or have two singles matches and then the winners battle the same night, similar to what they did in the triple threat match with uh, Seth and Balor last this week. As far as what they could do for Wesley and
Yep.
the
That
North
I
American
like that idea way much better.
Um, that cage match that's gonna happen in the main event uh, for Dynamite tonight, I think might be one of the most, and this is gonna say a lot, but it might be one of the most violent matches that AEW's had in a long time. And I know that's saying a lot with the fact that it's Moxley and Omega, and those guys have had some, bloody wars. But again, going back to what I said last night, yes, we're streaming on YouTube also and Twitter. Um, but going back to what I said last night, I think they. You're welcome. I think they need to have uh, one of those like classic matches between Moxley and Omega to make up for the exploding death match that they had.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What an epic fail that was.
It was. It was. And I was actually that was one of the only wrestling matches that I was literally sad afterwards. Because I was looking so forward to how they were gonna pay that one off. And then you got like nothing. You know what I mean? It was like granted that wasn't Moxley or Kenny Omega's fault. From what I gathered, it was some of the production guys' fault that they brought in.
So why don't you get into the news that you were saying today about why WWE is including SmackDown superstars on a Raw only? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a Raw only title.
Yes, from what I heard today, and I want to specify that this is just a rumor, so that I got off of YouTube from a podcast that I watched named Ego, which I brought up on this show before. That the reason that WWE included SmackDown into the World Heavyweight Championship tournament is it's WWE's way of counteracting the viewership drop from the NBA playoffs. Now, that's fine, but it's like Tony brought up before we got on air today. Why is WWE worried about the NBA playoffs when they're not even really on when the NBA playoffs are really happening? If you look at when the NBA playoffs happen, it's usually like on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Saturday
Or a Wednesday.
or a Wednesday. So it would make sense if AEW changed like they have been to compensate for the NBA playoffs. But it doesn't make sense for WWE. I honestly think, and again, I have to say that this is just my opinion, that WWE uh, figured they messed up by putting SmackDown into the tournament because, like you said, it was supposed to be a Raw championship. And um, this is just kind of their way of trying to explain it. So, like, all the pressure comes off of them and all the heat comes off of them for all the backlash that they're getting from it. So they're like, oh, we'll just tell them it's because of the NBA playoffs.
But again, why is, and I do agree with Tony on this, why is SmackDown even in this world title picture when it should be strictly Raw wrestlers?
And again, I have no idea. I I don't know if they thought that they couldn't have captivating matches with the people that are over on Raw. Which, if that was the case, and again, I don't know if that is the case, but if that is the case, then that's on them for doing a bad job of figuring out who's going on each show. And so maybe that's why they felt like they had to add people from SmackDown. Um, I honestly I don't know. I that there's so many people that were on Raw before the draft and are on Raw now after the draft that could have easily been put into that tournament and easily made that as compelling, if not more compelling, television than what we got last Monday and what we'll get on Friday. Um, and I've been thinking about this since last night because I agreed with Pat about AJ Styles, and I know the rumor is that AJ is going to be one of the future challengers for Roman Reigns, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to see Roman and AJ fight each other, and that's not anything against AJ. Um, I think AJ is one of the most talented wrestlers in the world for the amount of stuff that he can do. It's just, uh, how many times are you gonna do like AJ versus like this like unstoppable force, right?
That is a good point.
Uh, at least with Edge, you have that compelling story because we know that Edge is retiring pretty soon. The rumor has been when they go back to Toronto that that would be his one of his last matches, if not his last match. So at least uh, with Edge, if you had Edge go to the finals, you could play that storyline off of like Edge having one more run, i.e., like Ric Flair was attempting to do before the retirement match with him and Shawn Michaels. Now, if it does end up to be Edge, I think we're all in agreement that it's not going to be Edge that wins it. It'll be Seth Rollins. Because of how over Seth Rollins is. But that doesn't mean that uh because well actually it does because Edge is on SmackDown, right?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, it does mean that they couldn't continue that unless they did it at Survivor.
However, that doesn't mean that they can make a trade.
Yes, but why would and again, this isn't a slight on anybody. If you're gonna put a legend over on one show, why would you all of a sudden just trade them back to the show that they were already on? Then that would make people think, why did you move them over there in the first place?
Because I really believe, okay, I really believe that if Edge gets into the finals, he beats Seth, he goes back to Raw, he finishes his feud with Judgment Day, and then loses to Judgment Day, and
But
said,
didn't
"Okay,
he?
you guys beat me so many times, I'm walking away."
But okay, I there's two things I want to say about that. One, didn't Edge finish his feud with the Judgment Day at WrestleMania when he beat Finn Balor in the Hell in the Cell match? And two, why would you have a career like Edge end with him losing and walking away with his head held down? That would just make people think that of the redemption story of him coming back and wanting revenge. So
But
here's what I'm.
is that feud really over though?
I think it is. I think the end of that feud was at WrestleMania in the Hell in the Cell. Because they've done everything else. Edge teamed with a couple of guys that took on the Judgment Day. Edge took out the leader of Judgment Day and Finn Balor at WrestleMania. What else do they have to have Edge do with the Judgment Day?
He tears it apart and makes it where each member goes their separate ways.
Yes, but what's that benefit storyline wise? If you have Edge tear Judgment Day apart, then business wise and storyline wise, you're losing one of your best acts on Raw.
However, it just dawned on me. And I don't know what you think about this one, but Ed, you might be right. Edge might not go into the finals. So therefore, what's the best 3-man group to take on the Judgment Day next?
I think it's like you said last night. I think it's going to be the OC and AJ Styles. And you already had a built-in storyline that didn't get finished there because AJ got hurt.
Yeah, but but with them on SmackDown though, where does Jinder Mahal and his two guys fit in? Because they're on Raw.
I see your point on that one, but Vince doesn't always like to do a heel versus heel feud. And if you have the Judgment Day of heels and Jinder Mahal and Indus Sher have been heels on NXT, and there's no indication that they're going to be faces when they debut on Raw.
No, but if the fans are getting behind Damian Priest like they have been, there's the turn.
Yes, but you're forgetting one thing. They're getting behind Damian Priest, but they're booing Dominic out of the building.
And here's a little kicker to that. What if somehow Dominic gets hurt and he's out for a while? They need someone to take his place. Who that would be, I don't know. Because it has to be someone methodical. But I also see that there's a Ray and Judgment Day still hasn't finished their feud.
I don't know. It's kind of been a one-sided feud, so it might be over because really every time the LWO and the Judgment Day fought each other, the Judgment Days won.
Right.
Outside of when Ray's beat Dominic in like maybe, a random tag match.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Now, here's what I think might happen with Edge. I think he'll go to the finals. And I think whoever loses to Seth would be Roman's first challenger his first challenger after Night of Champions for the WWE Universal Championship. So that would put Edge up against Roman. Now, here's where they already have, because WWE, they love their built-in storyline.
Right.
Here's where they have a built-in storyline there. Edge has always been big on getting revenge or finishing off things that he felt wrong by. Whether it was the Judgment Day, whether it was, any of the other stuff, right? Christian, that's been his career path, right?
Yeah.
Think about the most embarrassing pin that Edge ever had happen to him, which was at WrestleMania when it was Edge, Daniel Bryan at the time, or Bryan Danielson, and Edge, and Roman stacked both of them up and pinned Edge underneath Bryan Danielson to get the win.
Let's go back to that match. Do you really think Danielson should have been in that match?
Yes, I do, because I think he added to that match.
Because my personal opinion on that, Danielson should have rated his turn.
Well, I mean, the way they set up the story, though, it was a perfect way for him to get into WrestleMania, right? Everybody likes, as much as I just said that about AJ Styles, about how many times are they gonna do the underdog story about him, fighting like this giant entity. Everybody likes the underdog story, right? And regardless of how talented he is and how talented everybody says he is, Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call him, is always going to be an underdog based on whoever he's going in the ring with. So the fact that they had him in there with Edge and they had him in there with Roman, it added that extra intrigue of like, can Danielson take back the biggest crowning achievement that he had in his career up until that point in the WWE? Now, getting back to what I was saying with Edge, Edge can come out after Night of Champions and say, yes, I lost to Seth Rollins. We know that the brand split happened, so I can't go back after Seth Rollins, right? That can't do it. Especially if WWE is going to be firm on their brand split. But then he can bring up the footage of that pin, right? And make himself like the sympathetic underdog, right? Where he says, in all my career, I've accomplished this, I've accomplished that. But the most embarrassing moment I had was not even being the one that he pinned, but being under the person that he pinned. And then I don't know if this would link up, but it would be interesting if, like, maybe not at a premium live event, but who's to say they can't do like a SmackDown in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And who's to say Edge can't win the undisputed WWE Championship in Toronto? Okay, that gets the title off of Roman. Roman can go away and do his vacation, which he deserves, or that he's gonna do. Okay.
And then Edge loses. And yeah, I see where you're going with that.
And then Edge either goes the next night or later that night and loses to I don't know, maybe LA Knight, right? Just throwing that name out there. Okay. Or they didn't do the King of the Ring, right? Because it got changed from the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring to the Night of Champions. So what if Edge relinquishes the WWE World Heavyweight Championship or Universal Championship and puts it up in the King of the Ring tournament?
But again, why would you do that when half of that tournament is from Raw and half is from SmackDown?
Because you do the same thing, right? That they're doing now. Because the difference is this. Triple H came out and said the World Heavyweight Championship was specifically for the brand that Roman Reigns wasn't drafted to. So with Roman Reigns being drafted to SmackDown, that meant that that title should have only been contested with Raw Superstar. If you put the title up, if Edge wins it in the King of the Ring tournament, the King of the Ring tournament's never been excluded just for one brand. Even when they had the brand. And you could still build the intrigue of that way without people being upset, because people would say, well, wow, are they really going to have somebody from Raw win that belt, or are they going to keep it on SmackDown?
Mick, that's true.
The only reason people are upset now, and I completely understand it, is because Triple H came out before the draft and said whatever brand that Roman's not on is the brand that gets that belt.
That makes sense.
And you brought up Xavier Woods last night. Now, while I still think that Xavier Woods probably won't be the WWE champion,
Yes, Miss Panda, we will let you know when he reschedules. I was really hoping he was going to be on tonight because I was looking forward to the banter between you and Mr. Killian.
as was I.
Just because we happen to know the truth, and we know he's a big teddy bear, but, you know, like the host and co-host said, they think he's scared because he knew the Panda was going to be listening.
Well, I mean, if you listen back to the Randy interview, he was already crying after the Red Rock Rumble that she won anyway. So why should now be any different?
Or maybe it was this. Maybe he was embarrassed because he didn't want to have. Or maybe he was embarrassed because I was going to put this banner up all night long.
So, what I was saying is, you brought up yesterday Xavier Woods.
Yes, I did bring up Xavier.
You have a great night too, Panda. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, have a wonderful night, Panda.
Night, Panda.
Because Xavier Woods was the last King of the Ring, right? You could possibly have him go far in the tournament. You know what I mean? To kind of build the intrigue of maybe he would win.
Right.
And you could use, well, he was the last, King of the Ring, whatever. Heck, even Adam Pearce, or if they bring anybody else back to be the GM for SmackDown, could say, hey, we're willing to give you a bye into the semifinals because you were the King of the Ring the year before. And then Xavier Woods can say something like, well, no, I want to kind of, I want to fight my way through the tournament, right? Which would probably endear him more to the fans even more than he is now.
Ladies and gentlemen, as these two have been bickering and bitching and bantering back and forth to prove that I'm the hardest working executive producer in the entire podcast world, I have a very, very special guest that's willing to join us tonight and talk shop with both of you.
All right.
But he's not ready to appear quite yet.
I have a feeling I know who this might be, but I won't ruin.
You don't have a feeling who this might be. You have no clue what I'm thinking. Okay,
Well,
you say that you say you and I are on the same wavelength. Who do you think it is?
Well, I've narrowed it down to either 3 people. It's either going to be Big Money Dodge, or T-Rex, or Mikey.
I guess we're about to find out. Because he just messaged me he was ready to appear on this podcast. And not only did he agree to appear on the podcast, he's going to be pulling double duty.
Double duty?
Yes.
What the hell? How did he pull a double duty? Wait a minute. Big Money Dodge is supposed to be on tomorrow.
I ain't saying a word.
Okay, that just told me who this is.
I ain't saying a word. I'm not saying a word. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Big Money Dodge.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Back to the
Finally.
Monopoly money, huh?
Finally,
Hey,
some
look
class,
at Mr. Forehead.
finally some class in this
I
joint.
have a face. I am more than a forehead now.
So
Finally.
you
I
grew.
have big money on this one, Nathan.
Finally, some class in this joint. That's right.
Thanks.
He's pulling double duty because he's actually going to be interviewed tomorrow night. But he came on graciously tonight because
I just
You
missed the
guys-
forehead. That's all I missed. I missed the forehead.
he missed the forehead, and he graciously came on tonight because we had no guest. So he's here to he's here to banter back and forth with the both of you and bring some class to this podcast.
But technically,
You're welcome.
Can you call me the forehead anymore when you can see my full face?
Well, I see more forehead, but now you grew eyes, a nose, and an annoying mouth. I miss the forehead, though. I don't want to see from there down. But, you know.
So big money.
And just because I can be on the cover of GQ and you couldn't even grasp the cover of Grandpa Monthly doesn't mean you have to get on my
Hey,
face.
you know what? I was on Playboy before your little forehead.
Playboy?
Playboy,
The
yeah.
fact that it doesn't count if you sit on the cover. You actually have to be in the magazine.
Well, somebody didn't tell me that. I still made money off of it, so I'm good.
I'm
So
still
we-
trying to figure out what monopoly that you stole those fake $100 bill you've been flashing.
Oh, your disability. That's where.
My disability? You can take money from my disability. They do that enough on their own. I don't care what.
And ladies and gentlemen, may I just add one thing? Nathan here has been violently accusing Mr. Big Money Dodge of paying people in Monopoly money. Ladies and gentlemen, I think those look like real $100 bills.
They are real.
They look like
I can
real.
tell
There
real
is no
from
proof
fake.
to that. There is no proof that those are real money.
I got an old lady, Mrs. Big Money Dodge over there, that can prove that it's real.
So I think that Mr. Chairman or Mr. Host needs to retract his statement about he pays his people in Monopoly money when it looks like there's real $100 bills there.
Until I see proof,
You got the proof right there in front of you.
Are you blind? I mean, I know you're used to a forehead and all, but hello.
I know how to determine if those are real or fake. And I don't
but
need
you don't
a
have the
special.
pen to check it.
I don't need a pin to check it because
What, you are black light?
Nope.
What
Color
was
on
that?
them. If you feel the ridges, it is not fake.
Well, unlike the both of you, I believe our guests. And those, my friends, are real $100 bills. So, Mr. Noss, you got some explaining to do.
I have to explain nothing. Where's your proof that those are real $100 bills?
Mr. Noss, you've got some explaining to do.
I'm waiting.
Otherwise, tomorrow night,
it's open season on the host.
And I might be bringing a friend from Big Money Exchange.
Otherwise, tomorrow night we'll be live from the chair
of Big Money Dodge.
You better be paying me a big amount of money if you want to take this podcast over. And I ain't talking about that tiny little amount you got in your hand right now.
Oh, okay. It's a little warm in here.
Live from the chair with Big Money Dodge. It is now official, ladies and gentlemen. Big Money Dodge has bought the podcast.
Not until I have money in hand.
Oh, yeah? Well, Big Money Dodge has also told me to do this. Mr. Noss, you're fired.
Yes!
Now,
have a good night.
Like I said, because I work in retail, I can tell whether it's fake or not just by looking at it.
And I'm back.
And I can tell those are real.
Thank you, Pat. You are a smart person. God, it smells so good.
And we lost his audio. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Money Dodge podcast.
So,
anyways,
Nathan and I has been arguing about Xavier Woods.
Oh,
is he ready for a single push for a major title?
You know, I personally love Xavier Woods. He's a great competitor, a great wrestler, and he won't sign with me. I don't know why, but anyways.
We want real money.
Excuse me, shut his mic off. No, but really, honestly, I want to see him. I don't see him as a heavyweight champion, honestly, ever. I don't. I see him more as Intercontinental U.S. champion. You know, that around those two. Hell of a competitor, though.
Well, that's something that Big Money and Mr. Noss actually agree with, is because Mr. Noss doesn't think he's heavyweight champion material either.
Yes, I do agree with that. And my reasoning is
he
this.
Agrees with me?
I know. Kind of scary.
It is.
1 in a million.
I have to talk to my lawyers about this one.
But here's why I think he's not going to be a world heavyweight champion. Look at Big E and look at Kofi Kingston. Right? Both the times that they had the championship, they didn't have it very long. So obviously WWE is telling you that even if you give a New Day member the championship, they're not going to have it for very long. I would rather have Xavier Woods had the Intercontinental United States Championship for a longer reign
Yep.
than to have a short title reign with the world title just to have it.
I agree. I hate
Oh.
agreeing with the forehead and everything, but I agree. Yeah, if he ever became a heavyweight champion, guaranteed it's only for a month or two. He's not.
Yeah, and that's being generous because
Yes, that's my donation to him. You're welcome, Xavier.
But let's talk about another interesting guest that we had on here earlier in the week. The talented and only 18-year-old Brittany Brooks.
Oh my gosh, that girl better sign with me. I've been talking to her, and somebody decided to be Mr. Oh, Monopoly money. Really? I promised that young lady, which I respect in the business more than any of them. I mean, she's already been in Dark, AEW Dark, and she's 18, graduating high school, what, today?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes.
This girl just started pretty much. Like, she has so much potential. Guarantee we will see her in either NXT or AEW. Not Dark, AEW. Guaranteed. I respect this woman in the business. I've seen what she does in the ring. She's just amazing. Amazing. And I like to say she is big money talent.
And I agree with that statement.
Thank you. Smart man.
And he will pay her in real $100 bills.
Yes,
Instead
not
of
your
that
little
fake-
Monopoly board
Instead of
game
that
money.
fake Monopoly money that the ex-host of this podcast so graciously says that big money pays all of his talent in.
Yes. I got
So
four men that could tell you exactly this is real money.
And
Yeah. Okay.
and before you say another word, Mr. Noss, I may or may not be in a conjunction with Mr. Big Money to bring on his big money corporation onto this podcast.
And I'll have no problem telling my views to them too about what I think about the money of Big Money Dodge.
But however, the other part of this agreement was Nathan Noss was banned from the podcast.
I don't think so.
Oh, but wait. If he's not allowed on the podcast, can the forehead be on there?
I can crouch down and see if that would work, but I don't know if I can get that low in my bed anymore.
May I cut off and tell everybody, please, free Jimmy Mayhem. He's dealing with a personal issue right now. Nobody knows where he is. He had legal issues, and in the real life, I consider him my brother. He's a vet in the military. He's a vet in the business. He's dealing with, sorry to say this, psycho baby mama drama. And well, he's somewhere, and we've been having to cancel his shows. And it pisses me off that there are some people that do that to innocent people. Sorry. I just had to throw that in the podcast.
No, you're good. And you know what? In all seriousness, I understand how that goes. My ex-fiance was absolutely batshit crazy. So
I mean,
completely get
they're
that.
nice, but when their true colors come out, obviously they mess up a good person's life.
Yeah, mine tried to barbecue me. So
Now, was that the forehead or?
No, she went for the whole enchilada.
Oh.
Like, I mean, she
Ouch.
tried to burn down a whole apartment building and left me in my hospital bed and walked
Wow.
out of the. Yeah. So when I say I understand what he's going through, I completely understand it and am very sympathetic to.
Honey, don't get any ideas. Don't burn down our house or anything like that.
And I am gonna give you a shout out, Big Buddy.
Well,
You
that's
guys
good.
check out the Big Money Compound Facebook page.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That we will be actually. I'll let the owner of Big Money Compound. I mean, I'm owner too, but yeah. Don't need to brag. No, but starting in June, SoCal Crazy will be teaching online classes all of June. And SoCal Crazy is one of the biggest names in, well, SoCal. So you want to learn about the business in wrestling, you want to get in shape. So by the time we open our doors here in Pullman, Washington, you'll know exactly what you're in for. Guarantee that.
That's a very cool concept too, because to the best of my knowledge, I think that's one of the first places that have actually had like online wrestling, like seminar.
It's because we have big money. Unlike these little petty, oh, come join our little training session. No, we go above and beyond. We start off online, then we open the doors. So any of those little quitters, as they call them, that thought they wanted to become a wrestler, and after being trained online, I respect anybody that wants to join. But just know this, once those doors open, you guys will already be in shape, ready to go, and ready for your very first show. That is.
And that's awesome on another level too, because sometimes it's hard because I've been in some training schools for people to pick up the foundation at
Mhm.
the same pace that like the training school's going at, right? But if
Yep,
you do it online and you do it from your home, some people are more comfortable that way. Look at the people working from home during the pandemic and stuff.
exactly. You
So
know, if you're always wanting to be a wrestler, a wrestling manager, not as rich as me, of course, but a wrestling manager, commentator, ring announcer, a cameraman, whatever, this business, this wild and crazy business that I love more than anything besides my wife.
that's a very good save.
I know she's like right there. No, but seriously, it's a great opportunity to get your feet wet. Know about SoCal Crazy, what he's been through, his accomplishments, and what it takes to become a professional wrestler. That's what we're trying to do, is say, hey, you've always wanted to be a wrestler. This is what it takes. Nutrition, mental health, what all that good stuff. So it's it's a really good idea. I thought of it with Boom Mayhem, one of the VP of Big Money Exchange, and co-owner of Big Money Compound. So this is going to be a test run. I'm hoping there's kids, any age, any gender, any disability, anything. You want to even just want to learn, sit there on our Zoom meetings and learn what it would take, and if this is going to be for you. If it's not, hey, thank you for joining. Thank you for the help. You learn. This isn't for you. This is for you. So
Well, and it's a lot better, in my opinion, to do it that way than to go somewhere and be in in a training school where maybe you don't feel as comfortable, but being in your comfort zone at the beginning where you can understand, is this something that I want to pursue?
exactly. And that's exactly what we're doing for anybody that wants to even get their feet wet in the business and be like, hey, it sounds like too much. I don't want to do it. Or, hey, I'm in shape. I could do rolls. I could take bumps. Let's do this, And of course, this doesn't mean pro wrestlers that are already in the business, they could still come over, join us and be like, hey, I want to know what SoCal Crazy went through and all the training that we're going to be teaching everybody. So it's a blessing. It's really is a blessing. I've always wanted to do a training school, and someone opened the doors. Lumberyard in Pullman, Washington, opened the doors and said, "Hey, you bring the ring, you can have your class and shows." So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really, really hoping there will be, like I said, any age, any gender, any disability. Even if you just want to sit in and be like, "Hey, oh, this is cool." I didn't know about this in wrestling. I didn't know about that. I just hope this works out. I really do.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying, Mr. Noss, is even a flying forehead like you can get back in the wrestling business.
We are looking for a mascot.
And I'm, the more you were explaining that, the more I was thinking about, sitting in on some of the seminars and stuff.
You're more than welcome.
Because here's what I've always believed about pro wrestling, right? And it's been multiple people have said this, right? You never stop learning, right?
Nope.
So even though I've had my dip my feet in wrestling and stuff, and I'm doing the podcast,
yep,
I can still learn by going to the seminars, right? And here's the other part to think about. I've learned some of the best life lessons about myself and about other things by being involved in pro wrestling.
Yep.
Not because of what they are, but because of the way that they were delivered, right?
Yep. I use pro wrestling. I have I hate bringing it up. I have a mental issue, mental disability, and it soothes my mental health. It takes away from the stuff I deal with on a daily basis. Even just watching wrestling, it clears my head to where I'm happy again and of course rich again. And yes, this is real. So there.
Yeah, still have no proof of that.
Oh my gosh. Do you want me to send you something?
Enough, Mr. Noss.
Thank you.
I'm just saying the truth. There's no proof. Anybody can flash money on a screen.
You can't handle the truth, my
There's
friend.
going to be real proof. There's going to be real truth when I shove Big Money Inc. shirt on your little ass and make you wear it on the podcast.
Ooh.
The Big Money Dodge podcast.
I'll even make a small for your forehead too, so you can put it around your eyes and nose and annoying mouth, so I could see that beautiful forehead.
We need a muzzle for that mouth. All he does is talk.
Yeah.
You can't do that because I'm quickly becoming the best looking person in podcasting.
Oh, by the way, who was the one that had to wear a dress at the Mariners game?
Yes, that is going to happen because, one, I honor my bets. And two, I might have to wear a dress, but damn it, I'm gonna make that thing look good.
Maybe I'll send some money.
I don't know. Does Safeco Field take Monopoly money?
They take Venmo.
You know, and for the guys out there, Miss Noss is looking for a date for that evening.
Oh,
They can't afford me
Hey,
anyway.
you
Even
might
with
as well
big money's
get
money.
Mike the Triple M. Just saying, that annoying little bastard. Anyways,
So let's get back to Miss Brittany Brooks, who was a wonderful interview, by the way.
she was.
And-
I wish I was there to see it, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
I had to actually. It's called work.
Yep. I
You know,
agree with you on that one.
You know, so let's get back to that Brittany Brooks. Yeah, I almost single-handedly had her say yes to joining Big Money Inc. until the forehead foiled my deal.
I have to be
Yeah.
honest.
So curse
You
that forehead.
honest? Really? Come on.
The woman's graduating from high school. You think I want her to sign up with a guy that gets his money playing with his grandma or his mom in a
You know,
playing Monopoly?
let me rebuttal that one for you.
Thank you.
Mr. Noss, you're just jealous that Big Money Dodge makes more in a day than you do in a year.
This was all today. How about that?
Yes, but am I really jealous?
Yes,
Because let's look at this.
you are.
Let's look at this.
I mean, I know your
What?
forehead is.
My forehead ain't jealous of anything, first of all. Second of all, let's look at this. You just said you have to work, right?
Yeah. Well, anybody has to work.
To earn this little supposed real money that you have in your hands?
Yes.
Let's see. So let me see how I get my real money.
By waking up, right?
I get my real money by Social Security and by being the best podcast host in the business.
Best
For now.
forehead in the business.
For now. What?
Hey,
Who's gonna
Mr.
challenge me?
Hey, Mr. Noss.
You're looking at him.
Hey, Mr. Noss. I think this sums you up.
Yeah.
What are you
So what do
laughing
you
at?
want to talk about?
You may be just a forehead, but you also have a forehead with no good-looking hair.
Please, you look like you stuck your finger in a light socket.
Okay, boys.
Whoa, whoa.
Hey, remember,
Calm down. This
remember,
is a family show.
remember, this is your audition for the new host and new owner of this show. As
There
you can
is no.
tell, no. Look.
So far, Pat's getting a raise. I'm just saying.
Can't you
Thank you.
read there, Mr. Noss? Can't you read there?
I don't care what your little words say and your little banner with your 70s porn mustache.
Oh, he's not Aaron Rodgers.
All I know was you've got on record saying that this was my podcast on numerous occasions.
He didn't know the truth until he met me.
And
Now,
and-
he didn't know.
And let's be fair. The late, the great Ted DiBiase said, "Everybody's got a price."
Ha ha.
That's
Yes,
right.
Yes, sir.
But see,
He made me an
But see-
offer. I couldn't refuse.
the joke's gonna be on him. Because all that little fake money that you sent him to get on your side, and all the fake money you sent to Brillo Head over in the other box over there,
That's Mr. Brillohead. And he makes
That-
more than you on this podcast, by the way.
all the money,
Unlike the floating head.
all the money that the mustache and Brillo head got from you that they had to put in secret accounts so they could hide it, which they can't use because it's fake. So really, who's coming out better in this equation?
Well, not you.
Really?
Without Big Money Dodge's money, I couldn't pay off my dad a bit.
Thank you.
You see,
You're
and
welcome.
you know, and his check hasn't bounced at all because it's been going to my bank the last several months that we've made this agreement. So I don't know why you're saying it's fake money or monopoly money because, dude, I've been paid every single month.
So I'm gonna say this like my icon says, "Dummy, yeah."
And I agree with that.
So wait.
That is my new favorite
So
button on this podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
That's been your favorite button since before this podcast.
Hmm.
So you're telling me all this
was my
stuff
favorite
about
button
this?
before the podcast. Bye-bye.
Technology, you gotta love it.
Okay, he's back.
You paid
Be
your
nice.
cable bill,
Be nice.
if you know what that is.
I do know what a cable bill is. Thank you. Unlike you, who has to write on the back of a check.
Goodbye.
Man, I love it. Oh man. Oh, he's back.
I'm surprised you're not on the phone to your lawyer yet, Mr. Triple. Oh, that's right. Mr. Triple M's even scared of Big Money Dodge.
He can't even beat me.
Triple M can't even lace his boots.
I would, but Triple M is currently handling some other business for the true mega group in professional wrestling, which is his faction.
What the sound of pain?
Yes,
Have
exactly.
you seen their crew? Have you seen his dancing crew?
Wasn't he and his group the last to see Mr. Mayhem though?
Yes. And look what happened.
Wasn't that his group the last to see Mr. Mayhem? So, Mr. Nos, you have some explaining to do to Mr. Big Money Dodge. Where's his talent at?
Where is it?
I can confirm or deny nothing.
And I do gotta say something. Rodney Angel, really? Sound the pain? Where's the pain in him besides his voice? Oh, but I do love his book. I do love his books. I do love his books.
The only reason you don't like Ronnie Angel is because he was smart enough not to side with fake money or fake management and went with some real management.
And he goes to a freaking Q-tip. A little skinny twig that, well, doesn't really make money because he's everywhere. Like, he doesn't know whether he wants to manage or be a voice of wrestling or whatever. I think he should be a cheerleader.
I'm sorry. So you're harping on somebody for being multifaceted and being multi-talented. And at least he has probably the most vicious tag team in the Sounds of Pain in California and in the surrounding areas.
Excuse me,
Mr. Nos, have you
Forehead.
not seen Big Money Inc.?
I gotta cut you off there, Forehead. I mean, sir. The Mayhem brothers, Jimmy Mayhem, Boom Mayhem, can demolish all four stooges of Sounds of Pain in 5 minutes. Listen.
So let me understand this. And I have to say, I have respect for all wrestlers, but I have to say this. So,
oh, gosh.
So the whatever you call the brothers, right? So what? They couldn't come up with a more original name but to rip off the Mario Brothers?
How are they ripping them off? They're the Mayhem brothers. The Mayhem.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So they weren't ripping off the Mario Brothers. You know, back in Impact, they must have really gotten a lot out of that song that Joe Hendry sang, where he was talking about the Major Brothers. Is that where they got there when he called them edges bitches? So,
Can we
is
cut
that
his
where they
mic
got?
off? Can we cut his mic off?
Yeah, I think it's time for him to go back in timeout again.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
So,
Oh, I can't hear him. Okay, good. I see the mouth running, but nothing
so,
coming
so
out.
yeah. So let's go further into this. Mr. Big Money Dodge came on tonight because we didn't have a guest. However, he will be back tomorrow night
Yes, sir.
for his own personal interview
Yes, sir.
with Big Money Dodge.
Yes, sir.
So this, Mr. Nas, is what I meant by him playing double duty. He came on tonight out of the gracious of his heart to give us some entertainment and some knowledge on this wrestling world, and has still agreed to show up tomorrow night and do his podcast at his regularly scheduled time. So that's
You're
right.
welcome.
You get 2 nights of Big Money Dodge live from the chair with Big Money Dodge.
And it's a comfortable chair.
Inclusion matters.
I could be watching the playoffs and making more money, but instead I'm here with my boss man up there, Pat, and that guy over there.
The floating head.
Yeah, the floating, forehead.
Can't
So-
be the floating forehead anymore because it's all it's showing, so it's the floating head.
Oh, so the floating, yes. The balloon.
All right, I'll go with that one.
There you go.
Before we unmute the balloon, I want your take on this possible dream faction match. The Bloodline versus the Elite.
Oh,
Who
Well-
would you think would win?
wow. The Elite or the Bloodline? Well, as everybody's seen, the Bloodline is falling apart.
Yep.
The Elite, well, they are elite. It would be a hell of a match, to be honest. That would be really good. I would say Elite, honestly. I respect
I would.
Usos, but Elite.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. The Elite would take it.
Yep. Now, if it's money in the case, then you better throw big money exchange in it.
Oh, I would definitely in a heartbeat.
Okay, because we'll take that. I don't care what we have to do. If I have to hit him with the chair, I will. If I have to hit him with the briefcase, I will. I mean, I'm not violent, but I will. If the money's right.
So the other discussion that Nathan and I had was, and we both agree with Tony on this. If you're going to make a world title strictly for Raw, where Roman can't go for it, why are you including SmackDown?
I agree. I agree with you, sir. I don't know why you would do such a thing. So, your question is again? I'm sorry, I was busy glancing at my beauty.
And it's a gorgeous belt.
Yes. Big money champion. Be expecting that very shortly. I'm
So
sorry.
can you
Go
guys
ahead.
hear me yet?
Oh boy, look who's back.
Guess who's back? Back again. Better be nice or I'll meet you again.
Ooh. That's going platinum right there.
Thank you, Vanilla Ice.
Hey,
I didn't copyright
that was my
infringe. That was my
favorite
own.
artist.
Yep. Johnny's right on the money for that one, Nathan.
First of all, let me answer Pat's question.
Oh god, he's gonna talk.
I think you would have to put the bloodline over the elite because you don't know if they would bring more members.
I heard the bloodline. That's all I heard. I don't know.
I couldn't.
Because he muted me again.
We don't. He doesn't mute people. He's not mean. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Sounds like I'm in a really bad Verizon commercial.
Maybe
Or
you
Metro
are.
PCS. Oh.
So what I was saying before I was so rudely muted.
Okay,
were-
well then I can just boot you.
I love technology. Oh, there you are. I was
So
hoping
who's to
beforehand.
say that they can't bring more members of the bloodline?
I agree.
I'm so sorry. You're being technical difficulties tonight. I am so sorry. You've had more technical difficulties tonight than you've had the last week of this podcast. I'm
Has he
so
paid
sorry.
The bill? Did he pay the bill or something?
Well, I mean,
Or
he
did-
used to be.
I
mean,
think
he
his
used to be
headphones
the
went out
former-
on him.
Yeah,
No.
you know,
Yeah,
I,
the Wish headphones he got from Wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, 99-cent store ones. Yeah, I got it.
And the person I would bring up to the bloodline for the family, because I think he's about ready to leave MLW, would be Jacob Fatu.
Oh, I've met that guy, and he is a personal, like, very nice guy. I met him a couple times, and Jacob Fatu, yeah. That guy, he was at Inoki Dojo show, and I kept looking over there before the show, and I'm like, that's Fatu. That's Jacob Fatu. I kept looking at my at Jimmy, and I was like, dude, why don't we face him? And Jimmy's like, I don't want to die. I'm like, I'll tell you what, how about this? Then match. And if you die, I'll take back my money. No, but seriously, Jacob Fatu, if he ever joined WWE, I see him joining the Bloodline if they even last that long. But Jacob needs to be moved up. I'm sorry. Where he is in the independents, he needs to really move up.
But it's like Tony said, wherever Jacob goes, Lance goes.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
And if we actually brought up a valid point last night. You know when Paul Heyman talks on the phone and he tells everybody that it's Roman Reigns?
Yep.
Who says it's really Roman Reigns?
That's true.
But excuse me, Mr. Host. We were discussing this last night on the podcast.
So
And
who was the
who
drunk one?
just took the credit for it when it
I
was.
said we.
No, but you said then. But then you took my idea and you ran with it. So you didn't even give me the credit that I deserve, boy.
Wait a minute. He ran?
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. You
Yeah,
can't run.
for about
You gotta crawl.
for about 2 steps, then I
He
realized I
drove
couldn't
with
do
it.
it anymore.
He rode with it.
And you know what happened then when I realized I couldn't do it anymore? It's
What?
the same thing that happens when anybody goes to invest your money into the stock market. I crash.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And
That
this
one
is-
did hurt. That one did hurt. Right here.
And big money. And this is someone who couldn't even recognize a very talented owner / promoter.
You make one mistake in life and they bring it up every time you get a chance.
But
You're
to a
welcome.
woman. But to a woman, though, I mean,
Hey, I've already apologized numerous times that I've agreed to take a kendo stick shot from the woman. What else do you want?
A chair shot.
I'll take that too.
Table.
Okay,
only
I'm gonna have
problem
to
is-
talk to Brittany Brooks. How about that?
The only problem is when this owner swings a kendo stick, says she's a woman, she might break a nail. So, you might need to get a manicurist or a, makeup artist or,
I'll cover that. She could
Oh,
cry
okay.
for the 5 minutes of breaking a nail down. Just be like, here, throw money at her face and she'll go.
The other thing that Mr. Host and I have a disagreement on is our champion, JB Moonshine. He thinks in that jug is actual moonshine. I believe it's water.
Oh, come on. The man can't act like he acts getting into the ring if there ain't more than just water in that damn jug.
well, first of
Well,
all, let's make
I
sure.
can tell you that this is soda. Are you going to believe me?
Yes, because I drink that same soda. So
You can put stuff in that nos. And
Who
still
says I
have
don't?
Smart.
How do you think I survive in a nursing home?
So, anyways, as I was saying, Big Money Dodge is gracious to even missing the playoffs to come and lighten up this podcast tonight. I am looking forward to actually the interview tomorrow where he gets to annihilate you guys with the questions that you're asking, and they better be good.
Yeah, if they are crappy, like, what do you think of my forehead? Or, I don't know.
And fans, just so you guys know, the host and the co-host write all the questions. I don't know. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's coming with the questions that they ask each week. I just produce this show.
Oh, okay, full disclosure, full cards on the table. Mr. Mustache and I sit up after these podcasts while Brillo head there goes to sleep and write out the questions.
Hey, I have to get up at 4:00 in the morning so I can get ready for work.
Yeah, we all have excuses.
I have an excuse. Oh,
No?
sorry.
And I love your excuse.
So
It's
your
awesome. It's
excuse
an awesome one.
We keep rolling back to the same thing. So your excuse is fake money. I don't.
All right, Mr. Noss. I think before tomorrow comes, you better get a nice hard dose of reality.
So let me ask you one more question.
Because I've always told you that you don't insult your guests on this show. Otherwise, it becomes their
A
show.
lawsuit.
It becomes their show.
I have the better lawyer anyway.
Really?
I doubt
Triple
that.
M? I dare you. I dare you.
So I have one valid question for you. All right.
Nothing's valid when it comes out of your mouth, but go ahead.
And I want you to pay attention to this very closely because I think I finally
Are
figured
you
out why
paying me? Are you paying me to pay attention?
I don't have any fake money. I can't. They lost the Monopoly game here at the Frontier. Otherwise, I would have had a few bucks.
Go ahead.
So, did you rename Big Money Inc. the Big Money Exchange so it gives your guys a chance to actually exchange managers and go with maybe Triple M? So they would actually win a match every once in a while.
Downgrade your career going to that little tiny speck. Really?
Well, there has to be some reason why you called it an exchange, and I think that's a very charitable thing for you to do to give your guys a way
The
out.
exchange, my friend, is my talent goes to your promotion to bring the belts to the exchange, and we exchange, well, nothing.
And you know the best thing for them when they go to these quote unquote new promotions, they actually get to see what real money looks like.
Big Money, if you want a really good lawyer, I will get the name of my mom's attorney to help you. And she will eat Triple M alive.
I don't think
You
he
know,
needs.
I could do that with my bare hands. I don't
think he needs. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he needs money finding an attorney. I mean, they call him Big Money Dodge for a reason, right?
He can talk all the talk he wants. He can't walk the walk with the exchange.
Unlike the floating head, Big Money can afford Mr. Cochran.
Please. The only thing that Big Money can do with his hands, and this is even a stretch for him, is to play with Play-Doh.
Okay, well, with that being said tonight, Mr. Noss, I've been fronted the money by Big Money Dodge to pay for your flea dips for the next 5 years.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Well, that means I'm going to be itching like crazy because his money ain't going to get these fleas off of my back.
And
you think Petco.
And I have you an appointment tomorrow for the best veterinarian Big Money Dodge could buy. So, with that being said, please, Nathan, use that flea dip that I'm about to send you, and don't miss your appointment in the morning, because, ladies and gentlemen, please help control the pet population and your relationship population. Please have the flying forehead spaded or neutered. Until tomorrow,
find it first.
Money Dodge. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.